Our next speaker I met at the district attorney's office last year, and he's joined Toastmasters very recently, and I want to say he accepted the greatest challenge today. He has agreed to bring in a skeleton idea and flesh it out in front of you in 5 to 7 minutes. And he does this, round of applause for this. So in 5 to 7 minutes, he's going to flesh out a skeleton in front of you, because this is what he does for a living. He is a district attorney.
BS, is that what
yeah.
you're saying?
Yes. So, welcome, Jim Burlison, our best BS.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Oh, and I also want to, before I start out, this is a very great organization. I want to thank Moyara for helping me. I had a presentation at work this week, and she gave me some ideas for it, and thank you very much. In keeping with your theme, I was trying to think of an appropriate quote and try new things, and there's this, I hope I get it right. Of all the saddest words of tongue and pen, the saddest are what might have been. I think that's by John Greenleaf Whittier, and I always like that quote, and it kind of fits in with your theme. Going on to, I want to start out with a riddle. That was my one idea here, and let's see if I can go from there. What do good penmanship and classic naval battle strategy both have in common? Whoever gets it. to get your really minds rolling there.
They both go to the right?
And should I say
right?
penpersonship instead of, I'll say penmanship. What is that?
They both right?
So what you said, they both go to the right.
They both go to the right?
Strategy? No. Both go to starboard.
No.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the word ship and penmanship.
Naval strategy.
And good penmanship.
Good penmanship.
Classic naval battle strategy and good penmanship.
If my son were here, he would know the answer.
Well, you know, in good penmanship, you dot your I's and you cross your T's. And classic, that's one of the most important things in classic naval battle strategy is crossing the T. And it was developed by Admiral Nelson back in the late 18th century, early 19th century. And they used to have ships back in those days. They'd have the ships of the line. They were the capital ships of those days. They'd sometimes be 2, 3, 4 deckers. And they'd have the cannons would all be on the side of the ship, and they'd be broadsided. So what you try to do is you maneuver your ship so you're crossing the T. Here's the other ships going forward. There's no guns forward. You go here, and I guess they call that infilade fire. So you try to do that, and he perfected that technique. And thinking of new things, he was very innovative in trying new things. And that was one of the things, and he was able to virtually wipe out other navies in military campaigns just as using that strategy. So you go in there, I guess this is my 6th speech, so I have to use vocal variety, so. And you try to get it at right angles to affect that. And so, in fact, in one battle at Trafalgar, I think he had 27 ships, capital ships of the lines. The combined French and Spanish fleet had 33 capital ships, which were the equivalents of aircraft carriers in those days. And they wiped out 22 of the opponent's ships, none to the other side. And so he just used that in battle after battle. He just achieved total victories doing that. And I also got reminded of that the other day because I saw an old movie. It was called Lady Hamilton. And Nelson, in addition, trying to new things, he was married though at the time, but there was this woman that was the wife of the ambassador to Naples. And when he was in the Mediterranean, in a lot of his military campaigns, he'd make stops over in Naples, and he started having an affair with this lady. And she was a very, very famous lady who herself tried a lot of new things. In fact, not
Are you sure she was a lady?
Well, she had it was appendage to her name because her husband was a Sir something or other. But this lady Hamilton, she was one of the most beautiful women in Europe. And painters, they had hundreds of paintings about her. And she used to do what they called attitudes. And actually, she's a little bit like Madonna. She was sort of the Madonna of her day. She strike a pose type of thing. And these attitudes would be the subject, I think, Goethe, the German writer, he went over and wrote stories about her and everything else. So she was a very colorful character. And so he'd come in there, and I was watching this movie, and had Laurence Olivier and the lady that played Scarlett O'Hara had gone with it, Vivian Leigh in it. She played Lady Hamilton. It was quite an interesting movie. He'd come back from his battles, and one battle he'd come back and he had an eye patch over his eye. And the next time he came back, he's missing an arm. So, and then the final battle, Trafalgar, that's when he actually got killed. They actually assassinated him during the battle. They had a sniper up on the mizzen tops aiming for him because they wanted to take him out. But it was too late. They'd already lost the battle and basically got their fleet destroyed. And so they ended all their chance of ever invading England and ever, conquering the world, which was Napoleon's dream. So, so from that Lady Hamilton movie, let me transition to all the way across the world to Japan. Oh, and there was an admiral there named Admiral Togo. And Japan had become an ally of England, and he became a great student of Admiral Nelson. And he used to just study all his tactics. And this is like 100 years later. And Japan got into a war with Russia over this port in Manchuria, Port Arthur. Russia wanted a deep water port because they've been using Vladivostok. So they wanted a deep water port. So they got in this altercation with Japan. They sent their fleet all the way around the world from the Baltic into the battle zone. And this Togo is waiting for him, and he's crossing the T. And just like Nelson did, and this time they're using steel battleships, but he obliterated the Russian fleet. And actually that was one of the main causes of the Russian Revolution, because they're so dispirited and so many people lost confidence in the Tsar's government because of that humiliating defeat that kind of led that way. And then Admiral Togo later on, he came to California, he opened up Togo's Eateries, which I was eating the I was trying to find a connection. Oh, but I should also add that in that movie Lady Hamilton, Winston Churchill, who we talked about earlier, he actually wrote part of the screenplay. It was his favorite movie. Of course, maybe that's because he wrote part of the screenplay. But and Italy, I guess that's where you're going, so that kind of cuts in there. So I better. Oh, one thing I should add: don't be afraid to try new things. There's an old saying. Amateurs built the Ark, but the professionals built the Titanic. So, thank you, Madam Toastmaster.